Dot, 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 dot. Good morning, everybody. This is Grant from State of the Spark, and I am super pumped for today, and I'm glad you're here today because we got an interesting show for you. We're going to try something new on Friday. I'm going to cover my investments and my experiments. A lot of you have been asking, Grant, what is going on with crypto? What is going on with the investments? We hear a lot about this on YouTube. We hear this in other places. So what is going on with you with that? So I'm actually going to give a Friday update that just kind of covers some of what's going on with crypto investments, and not just crypto, but the metaverse and so many opportunities, because so many of you, in an effort to ignite lives of explosive significance, you're actually trying to put cash away, take the next level, but you struggle to do it because you don't have the resources. And right now there's a lot of opportunity available to us. So we're going to cover my investments just really quickly, punch list. We're going to cover a little bit of what's going on in the crypto market. Again, just a little bit. We're talking about 2 minutes of night, but more than any of that, we're talking about what matters most. You heard it here first. So thanks for checking in. But before anything, you know what we're doing first. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. If you're going to check out my live and you're going to hang out, we're going to talk about gratitude. Tell me in the comments below, before we talk about moolah, before we talk about what we're buying, before we're talking about that thing that I'm making 80,000% a year and I have it verified. Before we talk about any of that, if you're going to hang with me, we're going to talk about what you're grateful for. So in the comments below, just drop a quick little ditty of what you're grateful for, because if we're not making money together, if we're not actually finding financial freedom and time freedom together, and if we're not doing that around the topics of gratitude and gratefulness and an abundant heart, go hang with somebody else, man. There's other people that want to talk about that mess. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about morning cup of gratitude. What I'm grateful for this morning, and we're going to cover this. Good morning, Root, man. Root says he's grateful for great people in his life. 100%. I should star that and pin it to the top. I'm grateful for the same thing, and that was part of my cup of gratitude, and that's also what we're going to be talking about when we talk about what matters most this morning. We're going to talk about, I'm grateful for fellowship. I have now a dilemma in my week, that my week is now full of appointments. Well, it used to be these appointments were all lame appointments, but now nearly all of my appointments are with extremely high-lit individuals. From Brock just commented, grateful for good relationships with mindful friends and partners to keep me focused on what matters. And he and I have been cultivating not just an app, but a relationship, a dialogue about some of the things that matters and how we kind of API and interface that to humans, wetware, right? But we had great fellowship last night in the parade, which I'll talk about when I talk about what matters most. And then we had killer fellowship just around meetings and weekly meetings and Tuesday morning coffees and random people that showed up to park here to get to the parade. So much good stuff happens around people. You know, a lot of people say when they pray, God answers their prayers. They may or may not. But I'll tell you one thing. Prayers are answered through other people 9 times out of 10. Now, there might be some crazy supernatural story you have in your own life. I've got my own. But 9 times out of 10, I'll still stand by it. Most prayers are answered through other people. Now, Brock's voice comes to mind, and he'll remind me that also some of the terrors of the world come through other people. That's true too. But that means that people are our experience. People are the simulation through which we're experiencing life. And I greatly encourage you to get better at people. Get better at people, because people will make you better. I'm not grateful for the lid of individuals that I'm running with and that I was able to check out. And we'll talk more about that in a second. And of course, I'm grateful for our free Discord. Check that out. Get involved in the conversation. I'm grateful for our patrons. We've got a series of patrons who support getting buy alerts and watch lists, early notifications, but also partnership deals that we're talking about in the Discord with some of our cryptocurrency. We'll talk more about that in the news below. But let's talk about other news. So if anyone is familiar with a very cool comic book that became a decent movie, 30 Days of Night. Yes, it was a terrifying comic book. But 30 Days of Night is an interesting thing where it gets dark full-time for months and months on end in Antarctica. And the premise of 30 Days of Night, I won't go into. You imagine vampires love that. But 2 minutes of winter is coming to Antarctica now. After months of being in the dark since October, They've been in dark since October. I'm sorry, they've been in daylight. I'm saying it wrong. I apologize. They've been in daylight since October. And can you imagine it being bright all day long and what you have to do to figure out how to sleep? Well, they're going to get a little bit of relief. On December 4th, on Saturday, an eclipse is going to come through and plunge them into darkness for a full 2 minutes. How relieving would that be if you were actually in daylight, even at midnight, trying to sleep, trying to close your curtains? And I know they have blackout curtains, people. Yep, they will actually get dark from an eclipse. Now, imagine also how visible that eclipse would be. It'd be super cool to actually watch the eclipse. Oh, where's my post? There we go. And I'm going to post that link. I'm posting that link right there in the comments so you can check out more about a 2-minute dark moment in the middle of an eclipse. I don't know. My post is going weird on Facebook. We'll leave it off. So let's talk about other news, crypto market recap. And you're just going to have to bear with me through it because I'm geeking out about what's going on in the crypto space. And so many of you are asking more and more about it. So I'm actually going to share just a few quick tidbits. Number one, 69 of the top 100 cryptocurrencies are ending the week on a high. We hear a lot about volatility in the crypto market space, and there is. But there is a top 100, and there is some signs of not total stabilization, but a degree of stabilization going on. And no, I don't mean that you won't lose your money. But right now, 69 of the top 100 cryptocurrencies by volume are ending the week up over a 7-day average. That doesn't mean up over the last 24 hours. A lot of news reports that. But no, over the last 7 days, it's up and holding strong. Definitely strong in a lot of areas, but a little weak in the metaverse area. We'll talk about that in a second. Right now, there's a thing called what I call the battle of the ohms. If you know anything about cryptocurrency right now, there's a lot of discussion around ohms or the Olympus Ohm fork. And we won't get into too much of that for those who are new to it, but it's basically when a certain protocol called Olympus Ohm, several people forked the code, which means they made new iterations of it. And right now they're battling for people's mind share. And there's two specifically that they're battling for: Wonderland and Wonderland Time and Jade Protocol. And both of them are kind of duking it out to win the hearts and minds of investors. Well, one of them, Wonderland Time, pays about 78,000% a year APY. Break that down in a second. And Jade Protocol right now promises it was in the billions. Billions, you say, Grant? That's ridiculous. 2.8 billion. Well, if you actually look at the 5-day return, they're not much different between the two, but annualized over their APY, they actually seem ridiculous. And of course, people are jumping in for those reasons. But check this out. Wonderland Time, we love them both. I'm invested in both. So for transparency, I'm invested in both, in Wonderland Time and in Jade. Wonderland Time is holding strong at a market cap of about 402 million, which is pretty impressive over the last 24 hours. And over the last 24 hours, they've had a volume of $121 million, which is up about 35%. They're growing strong. So that's Wonderland Time. So it has a volume to market cap of about 0.3, which is cool and strong for a cryptocurrency in the crypto space, promising a 78,000% APY. Again, I've been earning that myself, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But Jade Protocol is a new up-and-comer, and Jade Protocol is promising 2.8 billion. I say new up-and-comer. In internet time, it's a lot different. It's 3 weeks young, whereas Wonderland is 4 weeks young to me. But Jade Protocol has about a 200 million market cap, which is about half that of Wonderland Time, but with the volume of 449 million. They're doing 4 times what Wonderland is doing in volume. So the volume by market cap is 2.2 compared to Wonderland's of 0.3. What is that telling me? All you need to know as a layperson is Grant's talking jargon. There's 2 cryptocurrencies that are really duking it out. And right now, Jade looks like it's winning the hearts and minds of people, probably because it's promising a much higher APY. But that simply means there's more people interested in it right now, and it's the trading volume, not necessarily any other fundamentals with that cryptocurrency. But these are just on the open market. You can check it out. And then some people say, well, Grant, what's going on with that doomsday ticker clock? There's another time clock on Jade Protocol. It's got a series of cryptocurrencies. And for those who are uninitiated, this might all be jargon, but I encourage you to check back on Fridays because I want to keep reporting on crypto. And here's why. Here's why I'm talking about this at all. Good morning, Quintus. How you going, man? So we got these people from YouTube jumping over. Our YouTube audience is blowing up right now. Here's why I'm talking about cryptocurrency. For those who are familiar of me through the cryptocurrency space, that's all you know me as. But some of you who are new to what we're doing, those of you on YouTube and Discord and Twitter, you guys aren't familiar with the State of the Spark brand. We do a lot of personal development. To my personal development people who have been with State of the Spark for some time, you've seen me talk a lot more recently about cryptocurrency. Why are these worlds meeting? Well, let me tell you something. Here's why the worlds are meeting, and you got to hear me on this. Our mission is to ignite lives of explosive significance. You know that. We're on a mission to make sure people are living their ignited self. Spark your vision, ignite your success, explode your significance, and radiate purpose. Marissa and I were doing this when we were living in the Dominican Republic. And when we came back, we realized we came back because our money ran out and our vision for our lives ran out. We came to the end of that, and we came back to the United States, and we got jobs, and we started working. Marissa got jobs, and we started talking about this idea that if we are going to wage war on mediocrity, if we are going to assist people to live their fuller selves, to live as a more thinking person, to engage with a clear and cut sparked vision, to be able to execute on a vision. Last night, we were with people who were drinking hot cocoa, watching the Christmas parade, but these are people we're in LLC investments with, investor-minded people. If we're going to run with people who execute like that, we've got to help them actually make money. So instead of starting another ministry, we stepped outside of the ministry and outside of the church, and we started building a business that helps people launch their dreams. That's what we're doing with State of the Spark, igniting lives of explosive significance, helping people launch their dreams. This is why we're putting LLCs together so that people can access investments who couldn't previously access investments. Go check out the Discord, get in the conversation there. We're launching our first LLC this week. Today, we should actually be opening the bank account. So why are we talking about cryptocurrency? I was a young pup in 1999. I graduated high school in 1998. In 1999, I had long hair, surfer hair. I knew I wanted to do more with my life, but I could not put my finger on what to do, and I had no resources, no money for college. I just had the sweat of my brow, which is great. You got to learn strong work ethic, and that was good for me. But as soon as I started having maturity and ideas, all I longed for was to have access. And suddenly the internet bubble occurred. The first internet bubble occurred in the late 1990s. And I watched it pop. I missed the ability to invest in the early internet bubble. Then came around in 2001, 2002. I wasn't paying too much close attention. And now you had the internet bubble. This wasn't just the website bubble like Yahoo. This was like Google was starting to take off, and all these companies. So basically Web 2.0 as we knew it back then. We talk about Web 3 now, it's different. We talked about Web 1.0 was like Yahoo, Netscape. Web 2.0 was Google and all these other services. And I missed the ability to invest then. And then 2008 market crash occurred, and then real estate tanked, but then real estate started swooping again. And I missed the ability to invest then. So now we're staring down the barrel of another massive transfer of wealth. Now, not all cryptos will succeed, and not all investors in crypto will make money. In fact, quite the opposite. But that's the same in any new wave. Every 5 to 7 years, there's a wave, there's a crash, and on the heels of that crash, there's a surge of wealth, and that wealth is basically A, wealth transference, and B, wealth creation. Cryptocurrency is doing this both. So I will unabashedly talk about what's going on with crypto. And yes, cryptos will tank, and some of you will point your finger and go, see, I told you that stuff was going to tank, and you were all about cryptos and you forgot your brand. No, we're going to keep talking about personal development because I don't want to help people make money. I can help you make money, but I don't want to help people make money who aren't developing personally. That's what State of the Spark is. That's what our patrons get access to. That's what our Discord members get access to. I'm a coach. I've got a coaching appointment today with a small business owner, Ryan Christ, who's a baller, and he's been with me for a while. We're going to go do some coaching. I'm all about developing people. So if you're here, if you're watching the show, I'm going to talk about crypto more and more because there are opportunities for you to fund your dream. So when I talk about Wonderland time, making 78,000% a year, is that going to go on forever? Probably not. But I think we can at least go for the next 300 or 400 days. And if you can compound your money and you and I can invest together and grow, then what dreams can we manifest together? That's why we're talking a little bit about crypto today. Let's talk real quick about Metaverse tokens. So we covered Wonderland time. Jade is surging in trading volume over the last 24 hours. past Wonderland time. So if you're not on Jade, go watch my YouTube video on that. I've got a really good video on how that works and what's going on. I'm also invested in Wonderland time. I'm a Diamond Hands guy. For those who don't know, Diamond Hands means I'm just sticking around for the long haul on Wonderland and Jade Protocol. And also, Smarter Coin is doing some serious stuff. We'll talk about that some other time. Metaverse tokens today. I want you to pay attention beyond crypto. I want you to also pay attention to Metaverse tokens outside of crypto. One of the people I respect just did a whole profile on 4 or 5 stocks that have to do with the Metaverse. So pay attention to the Metaverse beyond crypto. But real quick, within crypto, trading volume is down 12%. This is actually good news. Trading volume in Metaverse tokens is down 12%, and the market cap is up only 1.8%. And I think that what this could mean is within the next 12 to 24 hours, I'm watching for a buying opportunity. Some of the big players in the Metaverse tokens like Decentraland were down over 10%. As soon as I start seeing double digits, that's a re-entry point for me. Good morning, Austin. I hope you're doing great. Thanks for checking back with us, man. So when it comes to Decentraland and Engine is down, I think, nearly double digits. I've been looking for an entry point into Engine. I don't own any Engine. I do own Decentraland, Mana. So I really recommend you pay attention. Put it on your watch list to watch Metaverse stocks very closely. If you go to CoinMarketCap and click Metaverse tokens, there's a little tab for it. Go watch them and sort by trading volume, sort by price, and check it out and watch for your entry point, because I'm dollar cost averaging Decentraland and I'm watching for that moment. You should be doing the same with that and Engine. Engine token is actually the basically the gaming engine of the Ethereum network, and they've got spin-off tokens now happening, I think, on the Polkadot network, if I'm not mistaken, with Affinity. And I was just looking for my buying moment for Affinity tokens. So watch for Metaverse tokens. Hey, Nicholas. Nicholas is a commenter. We've been interacting, and he even corrected me on a few things. I appreciate you. He's live from Sydney, Australia, man. How you doing? Here, let me pull that guy up here. I've actually appreciated some of his feedback on some of the comments. So thanks for correcting me, Nicholas. I hope you're doing great this morning. So yeah, Metaverse tokens, they're down almost 12%, but market cap is still a little strong at 1.8%. Watch for your entry point in some of the Metaverse tokens. I know I will be. And then real quick, leaving off of that, some of you have been asking, what are some of the ways we've been experimenting in the Metaverse? And some of those folks jumping over from YouTube and commenting from YouTube, they might have seen some of this, but check it out. Number one, our investment in Wonderland Time. I've now been in Wonderland Time for about 4 weeks. I am up, let's look, 50%. That's with price action. All that phrase means is that I bought it at a certain rate. I think it was over 7,000. And then it tanked at one point to like 6,000, I think sub 6,000. But I kept getting my rebases 3 times a day. Basically, for those who don't know, these are like dividends or rewards for holding the token to actually create some stability in the token. And so we're getting rewards, and our dollar cost average is doing pretty good. So a lot of people will go, hey, you're supposed to be getting 78,000% a year. You're only up 50% in 3-4 weeks. That won't work. If we actually cut the math, I'm up 50% on some very rudimentary math, but my original investment, I'll actually show you, it's compounding way higher than that. But also, here's a reminder: stay humble. Can anyone remember the day when we used to get happy if our checking account was 1%? Can anyone remember the day that we thought we were getting ahead by finding a 4% ING direct account? That was an old banking account that went out of business. Can anyone remember when we were just trying to beat inflation? I'll take 50% over the last 4 weeks, even if they're promising something and the math doesn't exactly work. So settle down, people. So number one, my Wonderland Time experiment is up 50%. I am about to liquidate, and I'll share with you why. I am not bailing out of Wonderland. I am about to combine my funds in a pool of people who are investing together in our Discord. So I want to be transparent. A lot of you guys want transparency. I saw Grant pull out his cash. Some of you are following even my Ledger account, my address, and you'll see me liquidate that account, but you'll also see me replace it in a new account, and I'll show you some transparency on that for the Spark audience who's trying to pay attention to how we're experimenting. So I'm up 50%. We're doing really good. We're going to liquidate and combine our funds. Talk about that in a second. My Jade Protocol, I've only been in 10 days, and I am up 42%. I am almost in full degen mode. For those who don't know what that means I'm a complete degenerate, and I put my money up in that stakes as an SJade, and then I'm looking for ways both with Wonderland Time and WMO And with Jade Protocol and SJade, I'm looking for ways to restake even my staked amounts. So I'm looking for full degen mode. Looping doesn't work anymore. We'll talk about that some other day. But in general, the update on the experiment is that I'm up 42% in 10 days. That's where I'm at. Tell your friends. My stablecoin investments. I don't want everyone in the world to think that crypto or that state of the spark and crypto is all about riskier ohms. Remember, Jade, Wonderland, these are all mega risky, and the party will be over one day. The party will be over one day. So make sure you're pulling profits. Pull profits. Now, if you're in full degen mode, just like, I'm going to invest whatever I want, okay? I feel you, but don't come crying and say, oh, Grant said, no. I'm taking profits. I'm pulling initial investment off the table. Why? Because A, I'm moving into things like stable coins. B, we have longer term visions for State of the Spark. It's not just about crypto and investing in financial freedom. It's about helping people launch their dream. So you'll see me take profits and reinvest that into crazy things like real estate. Come on now, people. We'll talk more about that later. My stablecoin investments, we're still pulling 23% on US Tether and USDC. USDC coin, for those who don't know, those are both stable coins. Yeah, man. Follow my wallet address. Brock goes, bing, good idea. Absolutely. People want to follow the address. In fact, the investors for the LLC, actually, I'll talk about that in a second. So I'm still pulling 23% on US Tether and USDC. I was also doing crypto. This is crypto lending. I was also doing crypto lending on MakerDAO. And for those who saw my video, how I'm making 60% a year, and everyone's laughing, he's making 78,000 on Wonderland time. Settle down. Some people want a stable investment. And 60% a year for a stable investment is doing okay. So MakerDAO was pulling 60% a year. It's not even grazing 10% right now. Transparency in the investing. So I am selling my MakerDAO almost entirely, and I'm going to reinvest it. That's meant to be a stable coin crypto lending investment. So I'm going to rebalance my crypto lending portfolio very shortly, and I'll update you guys on that. But right now, still pulling about 23% on US Tether and USDC. I'm not doing full degen mode. I'm not going there when it comes to stablecoin investments. And my MakerDAO is about 60%. Now, some of my blue chips I'm also going to be selling. I think Cardano currently makes up 40% of my portfolio. And I was in Cardano. I'm still in a mega positive position. I've been in Cardano since it was like sub 20 cents. So I've got a ton of Cardano, but I'm about to sell some to rebalance my portfolio into more of the crypto lending, not the blue chip staking. I'm not blue chip staking too much more with that. Although on Voyager Index, I use Voyager. I was experimenting with Voyager, and they did pay out their promised staking rewards. It was minimal, and you've got to put in a ton of cash. So if you're in a full degen mode, or if you're in 9.9 mode, just let me know, and we can kind of talk a little bit about your own portfolio. So last but not least, most of you want to hear about the LLC and how we're pulling funds. So in short, we've got a vibrant Discord or a growing Discord. We still have to come up with mods. We still need to build out. So it's a little chaotic in there, I'll be honest. But the YouTube following is growing, and a lot of you guys have been asking, what are you guys doing? Well, there's a lot of experiments going on. A lot of you want to invest in full-blown Wonderland, full-blown Jade. A lot of you guys want to do strong nodes, ring nodes. A lot of you guys want to look at helium miners and XYO and XZO and different experiments that we could be doing together, but you don't. Your cash is stretched a little thin. So we're putting together LLCs to mitigate the risk. We're all equal stakeholders, equal investors, and we're actually systematizing that right now. We had our first document with 9 investors that I think got the last signature last night. We're depositing our funds today. And the first one, each LLC will be single case. So the LLC right now that we're looking at is focused on Wonderland only. And as Brock just said right here, follow my wallet address. We're just going to post to the investors the wallet address. I don't want them come knocking, how's my investment doing? No. They'll have the wallet address. They'll have a spreadsheet. They'll have a Google Drive folder. And then we're going to systematize it and then duplicate it. And then we're going to be voting in the Discord on on what the next experiment is and who wants to be involved. You might have it like the Wonderland investment was a minimum $1,000 buy-in. Now, there's very clear transparency. You don't benefit from compounding in Wonderland with more people. That's not what happens. They're delegating because they're too busy to keep capturing rebases and restaking the W memo. They're delegating that to me because I'm doing it all the time. So this is people who are too busy. So that's the reason for that partnership. But maybe we get into a strong node and none of us can actually afford a strong node together, but we could throw our money in and we do benefit because together we can purchase a strong node. Or maybe there's compounding benefits when it comes to stable coins and we just all want to throw our money together and compound more quickly. There's a lot of benefits to partnering and we'll articulate each one in each LLC. So join the Discord. Patrons will hear about that first. So patrons get notified on the next opportunity and they get ways to raise their hand and say, this is this sort of experiment. So patrons get access to that first, Discord members get access to that second, and then the public will get access to that third. If there's any seats, for example, we have core investors who some aren't even patrons. They've been core investors in State of the Spark for a while. Core investors filled up like 8 seats right away. 8 seats right away. And then we had a patron member jump in for the 9th seat, and then we're closing that one out. And so that's kind of how that will work. So the wait list is kind of growing pretty quickly. So make sure you're in the Discord or consider being a patron, of course. So that's the LLC. And then what else is coming? What else do I want to update you guys on? The real estate's still doing good. Our real estate in Cocoa is doing great. We can talk about that some other time and some of the other financial experiments that we're working with. Someone just asked real quick, boom, is jade related to snowbank? I don't know the answer to that, and so I won't cover that on the show necessarily. I am tempted to say yes, but that would be intuition only. Other viewers might know the answer off the top of their head. So if you do know the answer, please drop the answer in the comments. Do a little bit of research, Google it, and let us know if they're related at all. I don't know off the top of my head. So that's what's going on. That's what's coming. There's so much other stuff going on. I encourage you to keep following the State of the Spark and our experiments with financial freedom, mental freedom, and time freedom. Now, real quick, I promise you guys, for those who are around and understand the heart of State of the Spark, some of you guys jumped in the middle of the cryptocurrency conversation, and a lot of you are over from YouTube, and I appreciate that. But for those who don't know, State of the Spark is on a mission to ignite lives of explosive significance. We've started all of these businesses to do that. Boom, here we go. Real quick, is it still a good time to invest in jade? You know I'm not going to recommend or not recommend it, but I'm going to up my stake soon, if that tells you anything. I've got right now about 600 and some odd dollars. I got about like a full jade. I'm about to buy 1 or 2 more jade, just so you know. I don't know if it's the right time. In fact, it's near an all-time high, and we live on principle. Spark people live on principle. Buy low, sell high, right? So it would be a bad time to buy, but I'm going to invest because I think it's a good investment. Listen to the difference in terms. So you make your own decisions, brother. So for those who don't know, State of the Spark is about igniting lives of explosive significance. All these represent different businesses for the different parts of the human. Spark Explorer takes people outside. Spark Bookkeeping or Spark Billing helps with financial billing for small businesses. We got a website company, a training company. Why do we do all this, and why are we talking about crypto and investing? Because we want to help you mature to the person you need to become in order to steward over the things you need to steward to achieve your dreams. So real quick, I promised in the header of the video what matters most. And if you're here, you just have to entertain me for a minute. And that's this. I want to remind people that when we're talking about 1,000,000,000% return and 78,000% return, I want to remind you, stay humble. I get some of the trolls that see they sold, or see they're only making 20% a year. And you know how these trolls can get. They're dogging 20% a year. Listen, some people would fall over themselves for 20% a year. We have to remember to stay humble. But we also have to remember why we're doing any of this. Igniting lives of explosive significance. You've heard the mission statement, igniting lives of explosive significance. So I want to remind you, last night, we had some people come over. Hang on real quick. Got a question here. How long do you think Wonderland will last? Right now, I think 400 days, my bro. If you actually look at the dashboard on Wonderland Time, that's how much cash they have locked up. And that cash can last at the current mechanics 400 days. But I think before that 400 days decreases, you'll see the APY decrease. Just now today, it's under 80,000. It's down to 78,000. So how long will it last? It will keep going, my dude. If we keep watching APY tank, it'll tank. If the price tanks, it will tank. And then you'll see that day runway shorten. But that's how the runway is going. Boom. So here's the thing. Last night, we have a house in Lakeland, Florida, Central Florida. That's just a walk from where a Christmas parade goes. And I love this Christmas parade. It's super fun. And every year we bought this house with the idea that we could have all of our friends with kids come over. They could park. They could hang out. We could talk about things that matter. talk about ayahuasca journeys, talk about investing together, talk about leveling up, talk about meditation and how we're growing. And we could walk our kids to the parade, hang out, have drinks, and just having a good old time. And this happened. And I've been thinking about this for years. I've been trying to meditate on this and manifest this for years. And last night, we didn't even think about it. We had a long day of investment. We were putting together the first LLC. We had our investors come together. Everyone was signing it. We were dealing with stuff in the website company. And then suddenly I looked up and I was sitting around a room of one of my investors who owns Palestinian Hustle, another one of my investors that owns Freedom Boat Club, another one of my business owners that owns 11 Airbnbs across the country and something like 40 Toro cars. I'm looking around the room at someone who takes people to Colombia twice and 2 and 3 times a year to do ayahuasca journeys to get massive clarity and helps them solve trauma through different trauma techniques here in the United States. I'm looking around the room, seeing my fellow compatriot, James Joseph, who helped me start a lot of this stuff, and his businesses. He's got a car company. He's invested with me in several things. I'm looking around the room and seeing my buddy Adam, who owns a 17-person company for Spark Billing Solutions. And I'm suddenly full of gratitude that you are the equivalent of the people you run with. And the investments we're in would not be possible if it weren't for these people in the room. So what matters most? This investing, this making money, these going full degen mode, all of this only matters if you can tell me who it's about. Maybe your kids, maybe your family, maybe your family, your friends who have become family. Maybe it's unknown people you want to serve. I don't know what it is. But I am telling you that none of this matters. It is not about the money. Keep your eye on the prize. This is why it's important to take profits. You don't just want to be this bold person who we know someone who had 50 grand in Litecoin and they didn't sell a penny of it and it tanked. And they got stuck behind the 8 ball. That's okay, man. That happens. But I'm here to encourage you. We're going to talk about crypto. We're going to talk about investment. We're going to talk about financial experiments together. You're going to invest with us. Jump over to Discord, become a patron, whatever. We're going to make money together, but only if we can keep our eye on the prize. It's about making other people's lives better. It's about igniting lives of explosive significance. Hang on. Someone said real quick, I've been in crypto since March 2021. My best investment yet is steak for 10 years. Was way long before I heard of you and others on Dow. Got it. And then I got someone else real quick. I've been in Wonderland since September. Back then, the runway was 400 days. It still looks strong. Absolutely. Guys, listen, there's so much we could actually get into and talk about. There's so much we can do together, right? I encourage you, if you found value in this at all, visit us at the Patreon. Please like or subscribe, share it with a friend. But listen, no matter what you do today, no matter how degen you get, no matter what investments you make today, I encourage you to keep an eye on Metaverse stocks today. I think our window is going to come to buy back in dollar cost average. But listen to me, no matter what you do today, remember the mission. Igniting lives of explosive significance, starting with your own. That's why we do it all. Have a great day. Check me again next week. Take care.